Today history to coins 1970 and 1975. 1 cent. No one, the 1970 Lincoln Liberty penny, may appear as just another copper coin at first glance, but beneath its modest appearance lies a rich tapestry of history, minting intrigue, and numismatic value. For collectors and history buffs alike, this penny offers a captivating glimpse into U.S. coinage during a pivotal decade. Lincoln cent background first minted in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln cent replaced the Indian head penny, designed by Victor David Brenner. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait, a controversial move at the time. Continuity in design. Brenner's obverse design of Lincoln endured for decades, symbolizing stability in the U.S. coinage system. On the reverse, the original wheat ears design lasted until 1958, after which the Lincoln Memorial was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 1970 context. By 1970, the U.S. was amidst the Vietnam War, civil rights struggles, and significant political and economic shifts. The cent, while just 1 cent in value, was deeply embedded in American daily life, used by every citizen from children to business people. Copper composition. The 1970 penny still maintained its 95% copper and 5% zinc composition, a standard since 1962. This would later change in 1982 when rising copper prices forced the mint to adopt a primarily zinc-based penny. Mintage and mint. Marks 1970 Lincoln penny was minted in 3 locations. The San Francisco Mint produced both circulation and proof coins, making this mint mark especially intriguing to collectors. The 1970s small date versus large date. One of the most famous varieties of the 1970 penny is the 1970s small date and large date distinction. This subtle but important difference lies in the shape and positioning of the numbers in the date, especially the 7 and 0. The small date variety is rarer and more sought after. Identifying the small date. Collectors distinguish the small date by noting the 7 in the date is level with the other numbers and the top of the 9 is curved more prominently. These minor details significantly affect value and rarity. Proof sets and collectability. Proof versions of the 1970s penny were included in special mint sets. High-grade proof examples of the small date variety are especially valuable, with some fetching hundreds or even thousands depending on condition and certification. Errors and variants. The 1970 Lincoln penny is known for a number of mint errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks are among the more notable examples. These error coins are prized by collectors and can carry significant premiums. Double die obverse DDO. One rare error variant is the 1970s DDO double die obverse, where letters and numbers appear slightly doubled due to a minting error. This variety can be extremely valuable when found in uncirculated condition. The legacy of the Lincoln cent. By 1970, the Lincoln cent had already become the longest-running design in U.S. coin history. The continuity of Lincoln's image on the penny symbolized unity during turbulent times, much like his presidency during the Civil War. Historical significance of 1970. The year 1970 marked the end of the tumultuous 1960s in coinage. It was also the last year that pennies would be made using traditional master hub techniques before the mint adopted new processes in the 1970s. Today, collectors seek the 1970 Lincoln penny for its historical context and its interesting varieties. Coins in mint condition, especially those with recognized errors or the small date variety, are in high demand. While common 1970 pennies are worth face value, high-grade examples and rare variants can be worth hundreds or more. A certified 1970s small date proof can command upwards of $3,000, depending on the grade. Paragraph 16. Misconceptions about value. Some believe all 1970 pennies are rare, but only certain varieties, particularly the small date and error coins, have significant value. It's essential to authenticate and grade coins professionally before assuming rarity. Paragraph 17. Grading and authentication. Professional grading by companies like PCGS or NGC can confirm a penny's variety and grade. Graded coins are more trusted by collectors and typically fetch higher prices. Lincoln remains a central figure in American history, and his penny reflects this enduring legacy. The continued use of his image on the cent ensures his memory remains in the hands of every citizen. Paragraph 19. Coin hoarding and penny rolls. Many collectors enjoy searching penny rolls from banks, hoping to find a 1970 small date or a valuable error. Roll searching remains one of the most accessible entry points into coin collecting. Cultural symbolism of the penny beyond its monetary value. The penny has cultural significance in American. Today, we're diving into the rich history of a small yet significant coin, the 1975 Liberty 1 cent, also known as the 1975 Lincoln penny. You might be surprised to learn how much history, craftsmanship, and value can be packed into this tiny piece of copper. Stick with us as we unravel the fascinating story of this iconic coin, and why some collectors are willing to pay thousands for rare variants. The Lincoln cent was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking the tradition of using allegorical figures like Liberty. Brenner's design became a cultural milestone, honoring one of the most revered U.S. presidents. By 1975, the Lincoln cent had already undergone multiple design and compositional changes. Initially minted in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the coin kept its copper composition through 1975, before changes started taking effect due to rising copper prices. The reverse, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, was introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday and stayed through 2008. Obverse, Lincoln's profile facing right, "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1975 to the right. Reverse, Lincoln Memorial in the center, United States of America above, 1 cent below, and E Pluribus Unum above the memorial. The designer's initials VDB appear on the lower right side of the memorial, base and homage to Brenner's original signature. The 1975 Lincoln cent was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia Mint, no mint marked. Denver Mint, marked with a D, San Francisco Mint, proof coins only, marked with an S. Over 5.4 billion were struck in Philadelphia, 4.5 billion in Denver, and around 2.8 million proofs in San Francisco. Metal content, 95% copper, 5% zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. Diameter, 19 millimeters. Edge, plain. These specifications remained constant until 1982, when the penny transitioned to a zinc core with the copper plating for the exciting part error coins. Some 1975 pennies are worth hundreds or even thousands due to rare minting errors. Double die obverse DDO, slight doubling of letters, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. Off-center strikes, coins where part of the design is missing due to misalignment. B error, a die crack between the B and E in Liberty that looks like the letter I. Clipped blankets, a curved or straight chunk missing from the edge. These varieties are sought after by collectors and can dramatically increase the coin's value. The 1975s proofed Lincoln cents were minted in San Francisco and have mirror-like finish. High-grade proofs graded PR69 DCAM or PR70 DCAM can be worth $20 to $200 plus, depending on demand and condition. In 1975, the United States was grappling with a major economic downturn known as stagflation, a rare blend of high inflation and economic stagnation. Rising prices, especially in raw materials like copper, pushed the U.S. Mint to consider alternatives to the traditional bronze penny, although changes to the composition didn't happen until 1982. The seeds of concern were clearly planted during this era. Copper shortages and coinage concerns. Due to high inflation, especially in metal commodities, the cost to produce a penny was nearing and sometimes exceeding its value. Copper, being a major industrial metal, was in high demand. By the mid-1970s, the Mint was already experimenting with aluminum and other alloys to potentially replace the standard copper-based blankets, although these experimental pieces were never released for circulation. Political influence on coinage. During Gerald Ford's presidency, there were increased discussions about governmental cost-saving measures and clung in the minting department. Political and public resistance to removing Lincoln or changing the penny's design stalled any dramatic alterations. The Lincoln cent had by then become a symbol of national pride and stability amid turbulent political times. Continuation of the memorial reverse. The 1975 penny still bore the Lincoln Memorial reverse, which had been introduced in 1959 for Lincoln's 150th birthday. This, designed by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, was praised for its symbolic elegance If you look closely, you can see Lincoln's statue inside the memorial, making it the only U.S. coin to feature the same person on both sides. Proof coins and San Francisco's role. Although most circulation pennies came from Philadelphia and Denver, the San Francisco Mint took on the specialized role of producing high-quality proof coins. In 1975, proof coins were not only for collectors, but also served as testing grounds for new die techniques and finish, marking a period of innovation within the mint. Legacy of Victor D. Brenner. Victor David Brenner, the original designer of the Lincoln penny, was a Lithuanian-born sculptor who became a U.S. citizen. His initials, VDB, which appear subtly on the 1975 penny's reverse, have a rich backstory. In 1909, the initials were initially too prominent, causing public backlash, and were removed. They were later restored in 1918, discreetly placed on the Lincoln Memorial design. Cultural significance of the penny in the 1970s. In the mid-1970s, the penny remained a staple in daily transactions. Vending machines, payphones, and public transportation systems all relied on coin-based payments. Despite its small denomination, the penny held cultural value used in idioms, superstitions, find a penny, pick it up, and even school lessons. Numismatic interest and penny hoarding. Collectors and average citizens alike began hoarding pre-1980 to copper pennies in anticipation of a composition change. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.